Hey, what's going on? Hey, everybody on YouTube land, social media. This is my very first YouTube live stream. So I never go live on YouTube anyway. I have always done lives for my podcasts and on Facebook while my podcast is streaming simultaneously. So, anyway, for those who don't know me and to everyone who's followed, thanks so much for following me. I like so sincerely appreciate you for everybody who follows me. So, anyway, or subscribe to my YouTube page. So, that being said, as you can see there right on the side, little picture, my name is Rose, and I provide accounting services for small and growing business owners. I currently have a podcast that's doing really well, and the podcast streams on Facebook Live. So you can actually see our guests, and we actually do videos and we have workshops and things like that. So you can listen to our podcast on all sorts of podcast platforms. Plus, you can watch it live on Facebook and you can see our guests. So it's called Entrepreneur Life. So check out our webpage, entrepreneurlife.show, and you'll see all the guests and everything like that. Or just go and look at the YouTube channel and you'll see it there. So basically, the reason I came on today to do actually a YouTube live, someone had said, you never go live on YouTube. I really like some of your stuff. And so, and I get a lot of questions that come to my inbox. So I'm going to go over some of those questions for business owners about, the struggle is real. You know what I'm saying? It really is. And for what I see from the clients that I have, or people that I consult with, or just people who ask questions and ask if I know somebody who can help them, or if I have an answer or a recommendation. And I don't know everything. Duh, right? That's why we have mentors. So I'm going to go over 10 things that I think that we struggle with, for business owners. So, hey, to who's ever listening out there. And I hope that you subscribe and you really take something out of anything that I'm sharing today and it's insightful for you, or you share. Okay, so we're going to go through 10 things from my point of view. I need my glasses because look, my vision is like jacked up. And anyway, so I can't see, so I got to put my bifocals on. That's part of being, Asian, our vision isn't always that well, at least on my Filipino side of my family. So anyway, so let's start first with, why are you in business? And usually when I consult with somebody, I ask them that, like, what was your reason for being in business? What's your purpose? Is it like you were trying to make extra money? And so you thought of just doing something that was easy. You didn't have to invest a lot of money. And it was a way to work your business, your side hustle on the side, while keeping your full-time job, the career that you've always wanted, you went to college for, whatever it is. So, you want to first ask yourself, why are you in business? What is the real purpose? Because some people start their business and don't take it really seriously, and some are preparing to be in business. So they go to college, they work in the field for several years, and then they know what they would do differently is why they start a business. You need to really have some true answers to why you're in business and how long you plan to be in business and what the purpose of your being in business is for. So I'm going to give you two different examples. So I have a client who originally started his business that he was working at the time, and he is in the construction field where he does, remodel work and stuff like that. And he had always maintained his full-time job, and he did it on the side because he wanted to pay off his home a little sooner. He just needed a second job, but he couldn't work a second job around his full-time job because it caused too many problems. He needed to make his own schedule. So his intention was to never make it long term. And because of that, what ends up occurring is he's been in this business for 3, 4, 5 years and had not planned on making it long term, but it became more successful than he thought. So he didn't prepare. He didn't think of planning and budgeting and business licenses because he wasn't considering the labor it took, the material. He made a little bit of profit, yes, and it was beneficial for him. But as he grew and got busier, then he didn't plan, oh, I need helpers. I need to hire somebody to help me. I need to get more equipment, because he was doing so well. So what ends up happening is now he's working, it seems like, two full-time jobs, because it would move so quickly and he progressed so quickly that then it became a struggle for him. So because he didn't plan, he started struggling in other avenues that we'll talk about, in family, financial, because there was no planning. And then I have another client who's actually also in construction in the engineering phase. And I have clients in all different realms of business entities, but he had planned. So he had always helped his dad out in the industry and construction, from everything from remodel, hauling, electrical, and so forth. And so that was his plan, because his dad had his own business as well. So he worked in the field for many years, a journeyman, became a foreman. And so he's like, it's time for me now to start my own business. So he was utilizing the connections and the contracts, the people that, from the general contractors and subcontractors, to make sure that he built relationships, so that when he, made his business public and decided to go full time with it, he had the connection, the skills, the background and experience he needed. And he actually also had his plan of attack, what he planned on in 3 to 5 years. He started putting money aside, saving money, to make sure that he didn't have to dip into his saving, or it wouldn't affect his family. Because, of course, when you leave your job, you're going to affect your family things personally. You're going to affect your finances. So you're going to struggle on both ends. And so now he's like, now that I'm full time, it's like it's something you have to give up. So you're either working, and you're working a part-time job, and the business isn't your intention to grow the business, it's kind of like your side hustle, or you're working and you're still running your business, both doing part-time or your business, or working full-time and doing your business part-time because you can't afford to leave. So you still have the struggle between your financial struggle, and then you have the struggle between the time away from your family, and trying to maintain it all, which is very difficult, compared to if you leave your job and then you're ready to go full time, and you put money aside so that you can at least have some capital for the next three or 4 years. Again, you're struggling with, okay, now is my business going to make it? And you're taking whatever project you can and what job you can, and you're pulling money from what your capital is, and hoping that it lasts long enough so that you can still maintain and be in business. And so sometimes you can plan and sometimes not plan and still have the same kind of scenario. But what I tell people, it's always best to plan and to pre-plan, because if you've had money put aside, then it's better than to not have money put aside and then have it affect you financially. Getting loans, you don't want to get loans if you can't pay them back. And some people I have seen, I'm going to get on this about people who start their business and rush so quickly. They go out and get loans immediately. They're getting brick and mortar immediately, and they don't even see their revenue. They don't understand the revenue coming in, if they can afford to do it, if the business can stand alone. So pre-planning is always better, and understanding to know if your business can stand alone by itself without you investing and contributing. So, if you are in business, or you're considering being in business, or leaving your job, to start a business part-time, whatever it is, one of the first questions to ask yourself is, why are you in business? Why do you want to be in business? The pros and cons, do you have the support you need? And so that gets me to the next thing. Number 2, support. Where is your support? I find I network a lot, and I talk to many people, and you find that your networking or your support really isn't, the majority of people said it hasn't been with their family. So you either have family that say, oh yeah, I think you can do it. You're great. And they'll say all this stuff, to keep you motivated. But then I've got to take these glasses off. They keep you motivated, right? But then when it comes to, like, you need some help, After a while, that help kind of runs dry. And I'm not saying that this isn't everybody's case, but this is the standard. What I found when consulting with people and meeting clients is that then that help where they need to put in their time and you're asking your family to help you out, either one, they found they want to get paid, and like you just started your business and you're like, dang, I don't have any money to pay you, I can't even pay myself, right? And or they're just like, I can't keep helping you in your business, because it's your business, not my business. What am I getting out of it? Or, because they have a life of their own. I kind of say it's like having a new baby. When you get a new baby, somebody has a baby, like, oh, your baby's so cute. Oh, babysit whenever you want me to babysit. And then babies are, and they're quiet and they just fall asleep and they're like beautiful and all this other stuff. But as soon as the baby starts crying, like, damn, I got to change all these diapers. And, now you got to put work, and you're like, well, I can't babysit today. Well, maybe, I have something to do. The less babysitting option is now available. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of, take that into like when you have, you're getting support from people and you might need their help, so really understand where your support is really, really coming from. And a lot of times it really isn't your family. And I'm not saying this is for everybody, but a lot of times it isn't. It's from the most unlikely places. You know what I'm saying? And so you would think that, to be a supporter, you can just share my post, share my feed, tell people about my business. You know what I'm saying? That can be supportive without exchanging money. But how often is that done? People sometimes they just get tired, out of sight, out of mind. So really, where is your family support coming from? And then how are you affecting your family? Like I said, like in the beginning, are you going to get loans and ask for loans and ask for help, and you want all this help in your business? So I always say that pre-planning is better than not planning. And because once you start to like fail and maybe you're not making the sales or you're getting a little stressed out, you'll find that your support probably really isn't the people that are closest to you, really. I always recommend people, when you start a business, don't go into business with family. It's the hardest thing to do, even if you have organizational agreements and contracts and stuff like that, because it's easier to tell somebody else what to do as being their employer and their superior or their boss than your family, because your relationship is kind of like it's grayed, in the middle. And I'm not saying it's for everybody. I'm just finding it the case high percentage of the time. I just don't recommend being in business with your family. So really know, number two is where your real support is really coming from. Like pay attention to that. And it's the people who are going to be directly honest with you that are going to ask you for nothing. And usually I found that family wants something in the end or some return. And even though your support of the people that are going to support you that are coming from the most unlikely places, you still want to do things for them in return, even if it isn't monetary. So like, for example, my support has come from unlikely places. People have referred me clients in business, which I give, referral fees, and they don't even know it because I appreciate it. But two, even people who haven't referred me, I'll share their post. I'll say, oh, this is the person you can go to if someone mentions something, and someone's looking for something. I'm going to talk about them often. And that's just something that I do, that it isn't monetary, but hopefully it will put money in their pocket, or they'll share what I said with somebody else. You know what I mean? And say, well, someone told me they know somebody who does lashes, or they know somebody who does, bookkeeping also, or accounting, or taxes, or website. I'm going to share that person's information. So your support will come in really unlikely places, which probably won't be your family. So, just watch who you befriend, and which we're going to get into networking. And the other thing is transparency and brand. So this is really, really important. I've learned through the years. And now you as a consumer, you yourself look at people and who you trust and who you want to buy from. So what makes you think they're not looking at you probably in the same way? So when I say transparency and brand, it's you are your brand. So what type of transparency are you bringing to the table? So, I'm gonna give you a prime example. So I'm like a people watcher, I pay attention to people, and I listen to what they say, and I look for contradictions or find contradictions. So if a person is, let's just say they're supposed to be person who does marketing and branding, and they're teaching you how to market and brand your business. And they say they're making 7 figures, 6 figures. And because we're all looking for marketing professionals, right? Or ways to market, or ways to, get visibility, right? More visibility. So I'm always watching people that I connect with, and I look at all their social media pages and so forth. Now, if this is the kind of person in the business that you're in, and you are your brand, and you're trying to teach me how to brand and how to market, and that is your line of work, then your brand is something that I want to in some way mirror, or kind of duplicate in a sense, to see, wow, if it's working for them. And this is where I'm going to get into about social media pros and cons. But then you see they do something, just like a few things that totally would make make you question their brand. So it's like, one thing you'll see that they're posting professional video, professional branding videos or marketing and telling you where to market. But then the next thing you'll see, they're cussing somebody out on social media, or talking about somebody on social media, or maybe because they don't like a particular party, and a candidate, and they start being extremely negative about that party. They become very negative people. And so you're like, how do you market somebody? How do you brand? But then you have negative comments, negative sharing, or you're putting some inappropriate stuff, right, up on your page, your social media pages. So like, if you're a business professional, then the next thing you've got some type of, twerking video, or something, or how they have those things where all these people are fighting in Walmart or whatever. And then you start seeing this stuff. So you want to really look out for people when they talk about how you should brand and trying to get you to utilize their product or service. Really investigate the people on social media and what they're doing. It matches to what they're saying. You get what I'm saying? So if you are a branding and marketing person, and then you're training and teaching people, and you're giving workshop on branding and marketing and stuff, you got to watch your branding and marketing yourself. And if you're telling people that you can get them more engagement and more visibility and all this stuff, and you don't even have any but like 2 followers or subscribers, then how are you to be able to tell somebody what they should do if you don't even have it going on yourself? So for me, I think it's a learning lesson for everybody. So if you're a business owner, that's stuff you should be looking for. It's like, if you're saying you're making 7 figures and you're doing all this stuff, I don't see it. I don't see you're filling up rooms. I don't see your followers. I have more followers and subscribers than you do. So pay attention where you're putting your money, because every little thing, every little penny that we spend is important as a growing business owner, as a developing business owner. It's extremely important that we hold on and we have to keep a tight grip, that we spread that penny as far as we can. So don't believe everything you see in social media. Don't believe every post you see because somebody said they're making all this money. It probably isn't true a high percentage of the time. They may be doing well. And just because someone says they did $1 million in a year does not mean they took home $1 million. They could have done $1 million and be at a loss, okay, and can owe money. It could be a bad $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Bad investment, bad product buying. So don't believe everything that you see on social media just because somebody said. Do your research first. Make sure they have business licenses. Look at all their pages, their social media pages, and however many they have. Scroll through the back of the pages. Look and see their website. What does a website look like, which we're going to get into? How professional does it look? How does their branding look? How do their posts look? Are there typos and stuff? Not just Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever it is. Look at every place that you can find, and research it to make sure, are they really tangible, and do they really know what they're talking about? And another thing that I've learned, I've gone through quite a few like seminars and stuff like that and workshops. And where people say, write a book. If you write a book, it really makes you look like you know what you're talking about. Someone literally said this. And I've heard this more than once. And like you can get ghostwriters or you can get people to write a book and just keep your name in it. Just because a person writes a book doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. That means I can go and write a book saying I know everything about skincare and I don't know a damn thing about skincare except what I hear on TV or what one of my, co-sister business people tell me about from Aesthetics by Stephanie Gunner Writer. She does all that. She knows all that stuff. So, but I can write a book and not really write it, but have my name on it. And then people will believe it and buy it. And so when I actually heard that in 2 different workshops, now these are really tangible people who make thousands and thousands of dollars, like seriously, by people to go to these workshops. They pay money. Okay. And I'm not going to say who these people are, but if I said them, you would know who they are. And the particular person said, you could have a book done and written in about a week. Just choose your topic, choose your subject. And I thought to myself, are you effing kidding me? So basically they're telling people, and I see this, I believe it, when a person writes a book, it makes them more tangible, but it doesn't make what's in the book relatable. It doesn't mean that they know what the hell they're talking about. So now it really made me take a second look on these people who write books like, well, is that really about you? Did you really write the book? You know what I'm saying? Do you really know your stuff? Or did you take information and pay somebody to write it for you to make you look like you know your stuff? You know what I'm saying? So just be cautious, really research, really investigate, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it takes a lot to be in business, when you're dealing with your money. You really have to take the time and don't rush into things and making decisions. So let's see. The next thing would be, why should people buy from you? So we're on number 4. Okay. So the same thing that you're going to think about, why should you buy from somebody? Their quality product, their time. Is it just because you're an emotional shopper? Why should they buy from you? Just because you're you don't make you important. Just because it's me don't mean they should buy from me. It's just something that I'm going to do different, that I think that I'm going to correlate. And when we talked about transparency and the brand, we're going back to that, which was number 3. We're on number 4, which is why they should buy from you. Give them a reason. Don't buy from me because they feel sorry for you. Don't buy from you because you're a new business. Don't buy from you just because you're a woman. Don't buy from you just because they call what they call mompreneurs, which I don't care for that title. People say that, mompreneurs. Buy from you because you want people to buy from you for the quality and because they want to buy from you. The whole different. Don't buy because of the brand. And it's like, well, just like my last name is McDonald, but people buy from McDonald's because it's just so much easier, or like Carl's Jr. It's so embedded. You know what I'm saying? Like hypnosis. When you're branded, it's in your head all the time, like that. You can say just like In-N-Out or anything, or Denny's or something. It's branded. It's embedded in our head. You want to embed in somebody's head the same thing as like why they like you, and transparency in your brand have a lot to do with it. And then because they like you, you'll find that you'll go back to a restaurant because you like a certain waitress, or you'll go back to a certain store because you just like the style of the store, the people, when you get there, how they make you feel. So that always still goes around your transparency and your brand, but you also have to have the product or the service to back it up that makes yours different from the rest. So I usually use this scenario when I talk to a client and ask, why did you choose this line of work or this business? Was it because you have the skill and the experience, or was it because it was cheap to get into the industry and less cost effective and you didn't have to put a lot of capital in? What was your reason? So this is the scenario that I give. So let's just say we're going to use a baker. You have 2 ladies that live next door to each other, and both of them bake cakes, and they're always doing stuff for their kids' school. And everyone's like, oh, you should open up a bakery. You should open up your shop. It's like, okay, so one lady next door, they both make chocolate cakes, right? And so, but one uses a little more vanilla in her batter than the next. Another one, she sweetens up her icing a little bit more. She adds a little bit more of a sugar. The other one's it's a little lighter. It's more fluffy. One's thicker. One's not as thick. One cake has filling. The other cake doesn't have filling. And so, but they both have the same chocolate cake, right? but it's what they put in the ingredient that makes it different. And now it's, you put both cakes on the table, and then you're just like, well, why should I buy your chocolate cake rather than her chocolate cake? And then one says, well, now this is where it becomes your brand and why they should buy from you. So, if you're specific to, it's your customer service, but if you're specific to, if you like it sweet and you like, your icing a bit thicker, it's like, this is why you should buy from me because hers isn't as thick. You know what I mean? And then the other one says, well, mine has filling in the middle and hers doesn't have filling in the middle. So you get what I'm saying? It's something that has to be different. Aside from your transparency, aside from your brand, aside from who you are, why they should like you is the first thing. But why is your product or service different from the next person? So when you're out there looking and comparing in the market, why should they buy from you? And then when you figure that out, because you know why you're in business and everything, and now why they should buy from you, that's what you have to sell. You have to sell your indifference. Is why all these burger places have a different burger. So let me tell you, I go to McDonald's for a certain kind of burger. I go to Carl's Jr. for a specific burger. I go to In-N-Out for a specific kind of burger. You go to different places for the certain type of food. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something a little different. So all hamburgers are basically the same, but then it's how you dress them up that makes them different. You get what I'm saying? So you have to understand and find your niche as to why they should specifically buy from you. Okay, so that's number 4. So now we have number 5 is partnering with other business owners. So which really helps. So if you are a baker, I don't know, it's just easy for me to bring this up. If you are a baker, and so then you want to probably connect and partner with rental companies that sell like party supplies and stuff like that, rental tables, stuff like that, maybe venues, people who are event planners, schools, like let's say like elementary, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, because these people are going to be doing things all the time when it comes to ordering birthday cakes, cupcakes, weddings, stuff like that, event planning. Those are the kind of people that you should be connecting with. So partnering with somebody and make sure you're in their face all the time. Like I do the accounting part of it. So I'm going to partner with who? Insurance companies, banks, human resource. I do payroll, but I don't do human resource. I'm going to partner with people that I know that when I am in business and working with my clients, that these are things they're going to be looking for also. So if I partner with them and refer them, then hopefully they will be referring me. But obviously I'm not going to be their only referral source because I need to utilize more than one referral source because they may not like one specific person I'm referring. So I'm going to give them about 2 or 3 options. So partnering is really important. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm making sure I don't lose my train of thought in every place that I am. So partnering with other businesses is important. So now let's go to number 6. Do you need a website? So I've seen this. Okay, I've seen this a lot where people say, oh, you don't need a website. So to me personally, I think you do. I wouldn't want anyone to be without a website. I don't want to buy from anybody or look without it because I don't like cold selling and cold calling. I'm old fashioned. I'm over 50 years old. I don't want you to cold sell me. I can't stand that. And I'm going to tell you a story about that bull. So anyway, websites, why I believe are important is because a person can go and look at everything that you sell or the service, because it might have been something they weren't even interested in. So for example, just my website alone. So I provide payroll services. That's what the person was looking for. So when they were Googling or whatever, I was referred and they say, oh yeah, she does payroll. So I always, when I talk to people, I say, have you seen my website? Or when I email them, I would say, go to my website. But what ends up happening is I ended up getting more than just the payroll because they're like, oh, I didn't realize you did bookkeeping too. Or I didn't know you had the software also. And I'm like, yeah. So now they ended up getting software as well as I started their payroll. I was able to refer them out for insurance because they saw that I partnered up with an insurance company for their general liability business insurance. And now they're my bookkeeping client. So if the people who are referring you, they may only refer you as in because someone at the time is just saying, this is all I need. But it's kind of like going to Target, Target or to Walmart. So you go into Target, I don't know about y'all, but you go in there for one thing and then you end up coming out with all kind of stuff, right? So I was at Walmart the other day and I planned on going there for paper towel and toilet paper, but I would have spent about 30 some dollars maybe, on the big packs. And I ended up spending $148. Why? Because I ended up buying all kind of stuff for my grandkids and totally forgot to buy groceries. So same thing, right? So I ended up having to go to the store and buy groceries today. But it's the same kind of scenario. If they don't see everything you have, then how do you know you're not losing a sale, a potential sale? Or they could say like, oh, I know such and such man who was looking for this or who was talking about this. Or even if they just went to your site, now that they know that, wow, they have more to offer than just that. So that's why I think a website's important, because you have to sit there and tell a person everything you have. They can't visually see it. People like hands-on. People like to visually see things. So just telling them, so only having a Facebook page, just having an Instagram, and I'm not saying that those aren't bad. Those are good things. You should all have them. But it should all lead to like a website. So why lead people all over the place? Like, okay, I have my Instagram following, right? So now not everybody's on Instagram. So then you say, oh, I need Facebook, but not everybody's on Facebook. Oh, but I also need Twitter, because not everybody's on Twitter. So you're marketing in all these different places, LinkedIn, Periscope, whatever it is, right? But if you could lead everybody to one place to see everything you have. Otherwise, how much work is that to put all the information, and you only get limited space to put information on like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these other social platform sites. You get limited space. And remember, the feed goes so quickly and how it goes by, because there's millions of people on there, that how many people are going to miss something? So let's say you post something that you sell, you sell cosmetics, right? So even the people, if you have 5,000 followers, 10, 20,000 followers, it's going to keep going in that feed because it goes so quickly. Even if you sponsor and pay for your ad, remember how quickly things get by. So if they don't see it, it's missed, right? But if you can always lead people to your website, when you see something, it's more memorable to just say, oh, that website, everything is in the website, rather than that one product for the one post. So like if you're selling something, you get that. You can't put everything you sell in that one post, right? So you're just putting certain things, and you're just keep running ads and keep running ads and keep running ads and posts. And it's just all, they're like, oh, who is that who sold that lipstick? Or who is that who did that car repair? Or who is that who did that accounting service? And you're scrolling back trying to find them. Or you're going through your list of 5,000 people. Let me tell you, I did that too. And I've gone through most of them like, that's too many goddamn people. Ooh, excuse me. Shouldn't have said that bad word. That's too many people, right? On my list. So how am I going to remember? And I'm looking at, I can't remember their name, and some of us, we're not good with names. So you have to look at the face and be like, oh, it was that person. But if you remember the website, and especially if you save the website, it's so much easier than to have to keep scrolling through and scrolling through. So every time you post something, you should be putting your website, so they click on your website. Because remember what happened, how social media is set up is when you look at something, it kind of automatically appears in your feed, on your website. And subscribing is important, because even though there's some things that I may not buy right now, I'll subscribe to a person's page or newsletter so that I don't have to forget later. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was that company? And, and I save the business cards, I put them in my phone, but it's really hard to always capture, you know what I'm saying, when you're doing 3 different things on social media sites. So I think it's important. And I also think that if you're a company that's doing e-commerce and selling a product, why you should have a website, you should be selling everything to your e-commerce site. That just me. Some people just use Facebook, but remember, not everybody's on Facebook. Not everybody's on Instagram. So can you imagine how much business you're losing? So if you were to be able to have all those social media platforms, still have what you're selling and your product and your posts and that kind of thing, but it leads them continually to your website, they might buy more than just that one product and having to go to your page and go, well, let me look at this and see what they're selling. And let me look at this and see what they're selling. You know what I'm saying? So if you have that link in your post directly to your website, then they'll probably buy more than what they intended, or maybe there's something they didn't even know you sold, because your website is telling everything, right, that you're selling. It's giving all your product, all your updates and that type of stuff. So that's just my personal thing. I think you should have a website. Some people say no, you don't need a website. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to take it. Okay, so now we have number 7, social media. Social media pros and cons. Don't believe everything you up and see on social media. I'm going to go back to when it talks about people who market themselves as brand managers, social media managers, people who say they're doing 7 figures, 10, whatever, all this money. Let me tell you this is hilarious. So I will look at the person's background of their video. I will look at the video content. I'll look at their hair. I look at like their presence, their appearance, and be like, look, if you making 7 figures, you look like shit. I'm like, and not all, I'm just saying, I've seen people girls' nails are all chipped. I'm like, if you making all this thousands a day, why can't you get your damn nails done? So I'm looking at the hair, and their weave is bad. Their lace front is lifted. The back of the wall is dirty. They're in their bathroom. So I look at everything, and it's like, if you making all that money and then I'm looking on your page and your page is like unprofessional, you are investing in the wrong damn stuff. Okay. You're not investing in your business. So don't be telling me to buy from you and you're not even investing in your business. You get what I'm saying? So look, I pay attention. I look up the BBB. I Google them everywhere. Google their email, Google their business, see their website, look at their social media pages. Don't believe everything you see on social media. And then people are just like, oh, wow, they're doing all this money and they're doing all this growth. You don't even know what they could really be doing. You just need to be concerned about what you're doing and what you need to do. You're not going to mirror everything that they do. And they could be lying anyway, because then it's like, well, if they're doing it, I can do this. I need to buy their book, or I need to do what they say because they said that they're doing tens and thousands of dollars. Well, dang. Well, we already all know that Trump, look at all the bankruptcies he had. You know what I'm saying? That, a lot of us didn't even know. So, and I'm not talking about Trump. I'm just saying, just giving you an example. Right? So anyway, don't believe everything you see on social media. Do the research, investigate yourself, really take the time, and you'll probably make some mistakes like we all have and chose the wrong people. But it's always wise to invest in and research the company, and look at what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of the things, just because a celebrity sells something, don't mean it's tangible, don't mean it's nothing. It just means they got a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And it's it's like you can pay a celebrity a lot of money to say, oh, I love this. This is Rihanna. So I'm just using this as an example. I love it. Okay, this is her lip gloss. So trying not to promote. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing it. I wasn't promoting it. It's just that I had it here, put it on. So anyway, so I'm gonna use this as an example. Okay, this is Rihanna's lip gloss. So let's just say it was mine, right? And so I'm like, I go to one of the Kardashians and I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I want to promote my product. They say, we want $500,000. And we'll just be like, oh my God, I just bought this. And it was like, oh, amazing. And I give them $1 million. Okay. So just using that as an example, it doesn't make it great. Although this is really good. This is Rihanna shit. This is some good stuff. I love her stuff. So anyhow, just because it's on social media and a celebrity is promoting it doesn't make it valuable. So, and let me tell you this, for example, I'm not hating on the Kardashians. I just can't stand this one thing. Okay. So why does Khloe have a show about, what is about body makeover or something like that? Like, your revenge body. Is that what it is when she bought her ass and stuff? So forgive me, Khloe, if you're listening. So I really don't care. But how can you buy your tits and ass, and then you want to have a revenge body show? Okay. So yeah, you bought your tits and ass, and now you exercise to keep it all together, to keep it intact, go to the doctor and get it blown up every now and again. But that's what I'm talking about. It's like social media. You know what I'm saying? They'll put stuff out there and she's like, oh, look at how great I look. Oh, you can look like this. Well, damn, if I bought some tits and ass, and then I'd be like, oh, but I worked out though too. You know what I'm saying? No, you didn't do it from scratch. So you don't know what people are really doing behind the scenes and what they're portraying, like on social media. You know what I'm saying? So just because a celebrity says it's so, it ain't so. You feel what I'm saying? So anyway, so that's that. Just watch what you're doing on pros and cons, the pros and cons of social media, what you're selling, what's important. So look, I'm reading this down, and my vision is like jacked up right now. So let me stop trying to be cute and put my glasses on. So don't believe everything you hear on social media. Okay, so now let's talk about networking. Why it's important to network, because not everybody's on social media, right? So because they're not on social media, and maybe they are, but like I said, social media moves so fast, right? It's like all these feeds going so fast, even sponsored ads. It's the relationships you build with people. So I get more referrals from relationships I build with people that I've met than anything. So first I get my Intuit QuickBooks referral because I'm a pro advisor for QuickBooks. So they go to the pro advisor site and they can find me there. So McDonald Bookkeeping, Ms. McDonald. Also, I'm a T-Sheets Pro Advisor, so certified advisor. So I get referrals through T-Sheets. Um, and that being said, in mostly Google, but um, it's surprising that there's people I don't even know that have referred me, and this is hilarious. I'm like, I want to give them like a referral fee, and I didn't even know who they are, and I'm like, oh my god, and some people I didn't like. I got a referral not too long ago, and they said it was like, I forget the name. Let's just say the last name they said was the Johnsons or the Bradleys, right? And so when the referral, and she's like, yeah, the Bradleys or whoever they were. And I'm like, oh, okay. So somebody either watched my show, watched my podcast, or met me at an event and remembered my name. I went through all my business cards too and could not find that last name. So apparently they watched something or I went someplace, but the physical networking is important because people see you and you become transparent and you become tangible, and they're like, oh yeah, I met her, and you know what I mean? And so she's really nice. Oh, she might know somebody. So yeah, networking is important. Meeting people is important, even the things that you don't want to do. So let me tell you. So I went to this one when I first started my business a few years ago, right? I went to this one networking event, and I don't like to drive. Anybody knows me know I don't like to drive, or drive far, because, like, of course, my vision sucks. So it's the Health and Fitness Chamber. So they had a networking event, is where I met Stan Shields and I met Leo. And Leo is a great IT guy who built my computer that I never thought I would need him, but thank goodness I met him. Leo Harton, he's here in Nevada. And so because he ended up building me a new computer 2 years later that I didn't plan on. And Stan Shields, who's your like really great in networking, he can really teach you a lot in network and network branding, as well as he's had his business. But I went through this health and fitness networking event. And I was like, I don't exercise. You know what I'm saying? So, these people are all talking about stuff about, being healthy and all these products that are coming out. And, and I felt like really like out of place, because I'm like, I don't exercise. I don't go to the gym. I don't eat all this stuff. I like my hamburger, my hot dogs, my favorite, I love my Carl's Jr. dog, so anyway, so I felt like really out of place, but I went to the two of the event, and I just really resonated with, just Leo and Stan, they were just like the greatest. And Leo was so effing hilarious, but they both ended up referring clients to me after like just a momentary meeting. And I continued to follow them after I met them on social media. And because I just think they're hilarious, have a lot to say, they're very resourceful. So networking is like really important. You know what I'm saying? And I've met a few people at networking events, and I've been able to say, hey, I know this person. And then some that I've referred and don't answer back, but they probably just left business. They just lost some business. But yeah, it's important to get out there and actually meet people. You know what I'm saying? And physically see them and see, what they're doing. So I really met some really great resourceful people here in Nevada. And after you talk to them, you can see that they really, really know what they're talking about. So it takes some time. So when you network, you want take the time to make sure that what they're doing is tangible. And you can really say, yeah, I met them and they're freaking great, right? That's what I say. Okay. So networking is important. It's just my opinion. All right. So then that would be number 8. So let's do number 9, personal time and stress. This is super, super important. So as business owners, we work. So either you're working in your job or you're working part-time and running your business, so you have 2 things going for you, or you're working full-time trying to develop your job. You're taking whatever you can and working all hours of the night. But do you have any personal time and the stress? And that goes back to having a support person. You know what I'm saying? So I see a lot of business owners who were, I was in therapy and counseling for a long time. And so they're so stressed out and they're just like, things aren't going as planned, because business isn't always going to go as planned like you think, right? All the time. But it becomes very stressful, not just to you, to your family, to your friends. You're truly trying to make something happen. You're really saying that I can see, that this is going to be somewhere in 3 to 5 years, and you're trying to be patient. And if you can't be patient and you're stressing out, how are the others around you are going to be as patient as you and understand? So some people just need help. You need that support. And like when I went to your support system in the beginning, you might even just need like to sit with somebody for therapy, just some therapeutic, just some whatever that time away is. Even to say, I'm going to take a spa day for myself. I'm a very early person, so I'm going to go bike riding. I'm going to go for a hike to the mountain. I'm going to go to the beach. I mean, with nobody. I don't mean don't take your family, don't take your kids, don't take your partner, don't take your wife. I mean, it's just you, and that's it. Because even some people say, well, why wouldn't you take your family or your wife or your kids? Because you won't want anything interfering or come close to interfering that's going to, kind of steer you away from. You're just having a day of consciousness for yourself, just you. If that means staying in your house and having nobody there and watching, and binge watching something on Netflix, it means something just for you, as little as it can be, as I'm just going to go and get my nails done. I'm going to get a manicure. I'm going to get a facial. I'm going to do something that is just about me without interruption from anybody else. Put your phone down. Nope, I'm not answering business calls, anything. That means without interruption from anybody, without your kids running around and just like, grandma or mom. Yeah, I'm a grandma. That's why I said grandma first. Grandma or mom, I need this. Or, just by chance that it can just, piss you off. You know what I'm saying? Cause you a little bit of stress. So when I say find your personal time, find your personal time just for you. Your personal time doesn't mean you and your wife or your partner going to dinner together. We enjoyed ourselves. It's about you enjoying your time with you. It took me a long time to understand that with my therapist. And so I was like, well, I like spending time with my partner. I like to spend time with my grandkids. It's not the same as spending time with you and developing and remember who you are. So for me, I'm a grandmother, a wife, a business owner, but I'm a woman first. I'm me first. So remember, you are obligated and liable to you first before you're a husband or a mother, before you're a father, or, before you're a grandma, before you're a business owner. You are liable to you first, your feelings first, everything first, you to you first. If you're not healthy, if you're not happy, if you are struggling, you need to figure you out first before you can be any of the other stuff, right? Okay, so that's your personal time. And then, we have number 10, which is your mentorship, having somebody that you can mentor from. So I like somebody who's more educated than me, that's smarter than me, or specifically smarter in different areas of something that I don't know. So I deal with a CPA, Greg Bruce, here in Nevada. He's my main CPA, and I have 2 more that I deal with in California. And so, but he's the main one I deal with only because I'm here in Nevada. But he is a great mentor because he can be critical and he can say, Rose, don't do that again. I didn't like that. Rose, fix this, or whatever it is. And he educates me continually. And so having a mentor who's going to be able to check you when you need to be checked, who understands your business and understand you have known you for a long time, and then somebody who's done it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about somebody who hasn't done it in your field. Somebody who's done it and made it. And you know for a fact, they didn't just tell you. You just don't see some social media stuff. You know for a fact they've made it. You know for a fact that they've been there. So that's the kind of mentor I'm talking about. So if you can find a mentor in your field that you know has done it and been through the changes and the obstacles, that's what I say do. So in the beginning, I was talking about, before I end the show, talking about, um, people saying how you're a mompreneur or something, soulpreneur. So this is my venting part of my life. So I don't like labels. Okay, so for me, this is me personally. So if you are, and this pisses me off with social media, right? So I made a comment before about being a mompreneur. People will tag me in these posts and stuff about mompreneur, and I said, don't tag me in these posts, right? And I take them off. Then I had a few inboxes. What do you mean I'm a mompreneur? I said, no, you're a mompreneur. Okay, I am a woman who's in business. So I don't like to be separated or labeled to say, so I'm a mom before what I'm a woman. I'm a mom before I'm an individual. I'm not separating myself by a label from a person who is in business to say that, then does that make me not a woman in business? I go, no, it just means you're a mompreneur. No, and I'm a woman first. I'm a woman before anything. And then you become like a mother, a sister, a friend, a business person. So as women, I don't like to be labeled. Can't stand it. Can't stand to be labeled, like when they have lesbians and trisexual and bisexual, and that's bullshit. So I tell people, why can't you just enjoy who you enjoy, be who you want to be, without having the label? Who made up this fucking, excuse my language, who made up these labels anyway? You know what I'm saying? Or when I apply for things, for my business, and it has minority. Well, minority is saying you're less than. So if I'm going to embed in myself as a woman, one, I'm not a business woman or a woman in business or a female in business or a business person. I'm saying I'm less than the person above me. If I say that I'm a minority in business, minority woman in business, that's saying I'm less than something. So how are you supposed to then embed, positive energy, saying that you're better than, to believe in yourself, contribute to yourself, to have any type of authority for yourself, if you continually say that you're less than? So I don't use the word minority. I don't use the word mompreneur. I said so, and like you see on social media. Now, I know a lot of you have seen this on social media. A dad will do something for his child. Oh my God, that's so amazing! Look at dad. Well, that's the dad's job. Okay, so why is it that if a mom goes to? Is why I don't like that whole mompreneur bullshit. And if you guys like it, good for you. So is, if you're a mom, and if you're a single mom, or maybe you're not a single mom, but you took your son to the baseball game, you take your son to whatever, some sporting event, you don't hear people say, oh, look at the mom, she's taking her son to the baseball game. Oh, mom has to do it all. People give praise to moms who take their kids, their sons, and get involved, as though, well, that's their damn job because they're a mom. Okay, you don't get a special privilege, or you shouldn't have had kids. So it's either you're a parent. So, but if a dad does it, they're so amazed, like, oh, the dad took the daughter to a ballerina show or some bull. Well, that's his job because he's a parent. So stop taking it away as if fathers don't do their job and it's something special because they do something with their child. So, I get these posts because people will share with me. And if you know who I am, you know who you are. And I'm like, take me off this bull, because just because a person's a mother doesn't make her special because she's a mother, and say, well, wow, and she had to take her son to the game or to Boy Scouts. Well, that's your damn job because you're a parent. Okay, it's nothing special. And the same is for fathers. If he takes his daughter someplace, it doesn't make him a special father. It just means he's doing his job as a father. So stop taking me off those bullshit posts. So when it comes to, again, I go back to the mompreneur, I'm a person in business. I'm not a minority woman-owned business. I'm a woman in business. So differentiate the two. Keep your positive energy all together. So some of you probably don't care what I say. I really don't care because I'm all about myself and my business. So you're watching this live. Those are 10 tips I'm sharing and things you should look at while you're in business. And hopefully you agree. Subscribe, follow my podcast, Entrepreneurlife show. You can see it's on just about every single podcast platform. It's sitting up there in the corner. That's entrepreneurlife.show. You can also visit my website, www.mcdonald-bookkeeping.com to find out all the services I offer. You can look at the YouTube channel to see the videos we've had. We've had some really great guests. We have some really great upcoming guests. We actually have on March 7th. If you remember the movie Losing Isaiah with Halle Berry and Baby Byron, well, he will be on our show March 7th, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. He is going to be sharing with us his journey and what he's doing now, and actually he has some music out there, so you should actually see just a little bit of what we've been able to share. You can go to our entrepreneurlife.show page, and you will be able to see some of the music that I've kind of uploaded to share, as well as how to connect with him. But he will be live. It's also on our YouTube page. So if you're on our YouTube page now, you'll see it if you follow this. But in case you're not, just go to entrepreneurlife.show and it'll take you to all of our social platforms. So he will be on March 7th. That's Baby Byron, where it was like a really major, this is when the whole racial motivated adoption, it was a big court thing that came out, and it became, they made a movie about it, and he'll be here March 7th. And you can also find who our upcoming guests will be also on our shows coming up. So go to entrepreneurlife.show and there'll be a calendar on the left with our upcoming guests. So we do like to bring in really great guests, tangible guests, business owners, celebrities, and really promote their product, promote them, but really is to share their journey to, how can we all relate as people? You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys check out the show. I hope you subscribe to our page, and so you can see the upcoming guests. And we do have a lot of workshops coming up. Okay, so thanks for watching, you guys. I'm Rose, the host of Entrepreneur Life, and that's entrepreneurlife.show. I'll see you guys next Saturday. Bye.